Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dami Fadira and it's so good to have you here. This is your first time here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for all of the love you've been showing on my previous videos. So guys, today I'll be talking about how to get accommodation as an international student here in the UK, and this is based on a video I made last week talking about the cost of living as an international student, and I asked that you should leave a comment if you want me to create a video, and someone left a comment, so I was like, why not just create a video? So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so everything I was seeing, I have it on my phone so I don't forget anything at all. So if you see me looking down, just know that it's just for me to check. So the first thing I have here is the types of accommodations we have. So we have the University of Residence, we have the private student accommodation, and we have private houses and homestay. So basically the University of Residence are just halls of residence in your university. So like hostels, like, you know, it could be 4 rooms with like a shared kitchen, in your lounge, but you have your bathroom and toilet to yourself. It could be like, let's say 5 rooms and there's like, you know, bathroom and toilet in each rooms, but you share your kitchen and whatever. So basically it's just hostels or accommodations in your university, and I feel like every university would always let their new students know that okay, these are the ones that are available and you can make your choices based on that. Now the second thing I have here is the private student accommodation. So private student accommodation are like all of residents, but they are not owned by the university. They're usually owned by private organizations. So for example, we have Unite Homes or Unite student accommodation. There is, I think I have Liberty Living, there is West Wing, IQ students homes, and all of those things. So there are tons of them. Like there is no city in the UK that you will not find any private student accommodation. So those ones are always a little bit more expensive than the University of Residence, I would say. I think based on what I know, I think, yeah, so they're usually a bit more expensive, but like it's in those accommodations you always see like studio apartments. You see you obviously see like shared, let's say 5 rooms, like the University of Residence also like 5 rooms, and maybe you share your lounge and all of those things, but you have your bathroom and toilet to yourself and everything. But like they're a little bit more expensive, I think, than that of the university, because most universities will still give their students a bit of discount compared to the private organization. So they are basically like university all of residents, but they're a little bit more expensive and they're not owned by the university. Now the third one I have here are private houses. Private houses are basically somebody's house. So for example, I have a house and I'm willing to let the house to students. So it could be like a 3-bedroom apartment, it could be like a 2-bedroom, it could be 4-bedroom, it could be 5-bedroom, 8 bedrooms, a lot of them. And in these private houses, they're always much more affordable than the private student accommodation or University of Residence. And basically another difference is that for private student accommodation and University of Residence, I don't think you're allowed to pay monthly. You mostly pay, let's say, quarterly, or you pay in full or something like that, or you pay 6 months for 6 months and 6 months later and everything. But for private houses, it's cheaper, way cheaper, and also you get to pay every month. So basically, and when you talk about house share, private houses are like house share, where they're like 5 rooms, 6 rooms, 7 rooms, 3 rooms, and you share your bathroom and toilet with other people, and share your lounge and kitchen with other people, or you have your bathroom and toilet to yourself in very few some of these private houses, and you share kitchen and lounge with other people. So basically the final one I have here is homestay. So homestay is basically, let's say, like Airbnbs and all of those hotels and stuff, and people don't take that. But like people that have, like, let's say they come here for like 3 months program, or they come here for like 6 months program, and they don't want to sign any form of what's it called, tenancy, whatever, they might decide to stay in Airbnbs and whatever, or you stay with your friends or family. So I would say staying in like Airbnbs or staying with your friends and family if you have family and friends here. So yeah, those are the types of accommodation we have. So University of Residence, private student accommodation, private houses, own stay, that's your family or friend, or let's say an Airbnb or something like that. So basically, there are different websites where you can find these houses or this accommodation. So I have a list here and I would link them down in the description box, so you should just check it out in case you're looking for accommodation. We have Zoopla, we have rightmove.com. You can check on Facebook Marketplace. I know that in most countries Facebook Marketplace is very, very functional, but I'm not sure about African countries. So yeah, I know in my country, Nigeria, we don't have Facebook Marketplace. Maybe there is now, but at least before I left there was no Facebook Marketplace. Or if you're talking about the US or Canada and other European countries, I think the Facebook Marketplace thing works. So for Facebook Marketplace, you can always find loads of student accommodation there, and that's because there are like different, like what's it called, like sections or segments, where you could see like a segment, or I don't know what it's really called, where your university students might be. So you see people posting, oh, I have this 4-bedroom, I'm looking for 3 other people to, share this accommodation with me and all of those things. So you should always check Facebook Marketplace if you have access to it before you get here. But if not, if you have anyone, friends or family that can help you check, you can also check that. So like I said, Zoopla, Rightmove, Facebook Marketplace, Sparrow.com, StudentPad, UniHomes, there are loads of them, and I would link everything down below so you can always check it out. Yeah, so before you decide to get an accommodation or pick an accommodation, there are things you should look out for. And one of the things you should look out for is the cost of the accommodation. In as much as, let's say you have a lot of money, I'll say as a student, you should look at your budget and work around it. Now there's some accommodations where everything is like provided for you. So if you're staying in a studio accommodation, a studio apartment, like everything is there already. So you're like, okay, fine, I think my budget is like £500 every month, this is 600, I could go for that. Good for you, but I would say that always try to look at the cost of the accommodation, not just about now but like later. So if you can pay even the first 3 months, what's the probability that in the next 3 months you'll be able to afford to pay that? So just look at something around your budget that is very feasible for the next couple of months or till the end of your program, rather than just thinking about the present moment. Yeah, so another thing you should look at is you should try to compare the cost of the accommodation you like compared to the other ones of similar features. So for example, you find an accommodation that is 4-bedroom and there are 2 bathroom and toilets, which you share, like 2 people to 1 toilet and bathroom, 2 other people to 1 toilet and bathroom. Try to compare that with other accommodation of the same thing that has like this another 4-bedroom apartment, 2 bathroom and toilets, and all of those things, because then you'll be able to see if you're getting a good deal for the accommodation you're getting or you're not. So think about that. Another thing you should look at is the proximity to your university. This point can never be overemphasized, because the closer your accommodation is to your university, the better for you, because you'll be able to save costs. You don't have to start rushing to go for your lectures, and you can always access a lot of your university what's it called, the things you get from it. So for example, the gym facilities, yeah, so you can be able to access your university facilities in case you want to stay in the library for a long time. You know that your house is just like 20 minutes walk, 15 minutes walk, and all of those things, so you can always so make sure you think about the proximity to your university. Another point you should look at is that what's it called, would I have to pay so much in terms of deposit? So now when you're getting an accommodation, you are required to pay a deposit fee. Now basically most accommodations will ask you to pay the same amount of your rent for your deposits. So for example, your rent is £350, you'll be required to pay £350, and the deposit fee will return back to you, and this is after you have finished your contract, yeah, and you've not damaged anything. So which leads me to another point. Another point is, once you decide on an accommodation and you decide to move into the accommodation, make sure you make a video of the room or wherever you're staying, or the whole house particularly. Just check everything so that you're not asked to pay for what you did not damage, and let the landlord know that, oh, this is what I've seen that is like bad, there's a scratch and all of those things, so you don't have to pay for that. Another point you should make sure you take note of is that do not just do a virtual viewing. Try to go there yourself, because pictures can be very, very deceiving. Like, you might think that, oh yes, it looks so nice and everything. When you see the house, it's like nothing to write home about. This is from a friend's personal experience, and honestly, it's like the picture versus the accommodation did not match. So yeah, make sure you go. If you can't be, let's say you're still in your own country, ask someone to check it out for you, a friend, a family that can help you, or just wait till you return, or you come into the country, maybe get an Airbnb that you stay for like a few days, then check out the accommodation. Another thing you need to do is look at, I think my advice is not compulsory, but it's always best for students to go for accommodations that the bills are included. So if you are going to pay for a, let's say, a 4-bedroom apartment with like bathroom and toilet and everything, and you're supposed to pay like 360 pounds, like it's better for you to just go for the one that the bills are there. So your light, electricity, your water bill, your gas, everything is included, rather than not paying, let's say, 300 pounds, and this month you pay, let's say you pay 20 something pounds or 30 something pounds for this thing this month, for your bills this month. Next month is like 50 something, another month is like, so there's no stability. Once you're done with uni, fine, you can decide to go for the one that, you know, the bills are not included. But as a student, it helps you to budget very well, because you know that this is the amount I'm paying, so you can work towards getting your rent for the next month. Not that you now wait till when the bills come and you're like, oh okay, this not, it might be lesser than you would pay if you're paying what's it called, if you're paying your rent without the bills included, it might be lesser than when you pay with the bills included. But like subsequent months, you cannot tell, so it's to keep like varying and everything. So it just helps you plan better. So make sure you just try to find an accommodation that the bills are included. Yeah, so that's what I have, the tips that I have for you before picking an accommodation. So the next thing that I have here is the requirements for you to get an accommodation. The first thing they would always ask you for is for a guarantor, and that's because they don't want something that you decide that, okay, yes, I want this place, you pay this month, next month you're seeing story. So your guarantor is someone that comes to say, oh yes, I know this person, he or she would not default with our rent payment. She will pay, or he will pay on at the time she's supposed to, and everything like that. So yeah, and for your guarantor, they will always ask for their ID cards, ask for, let's say, their bank statements. Some will ask for bank statements. So other people will ask your guarantor for, let's say, their mortgage statements. So some agencies would always require, or some landlords always require that, okay, they want somebody, your guarantor to be someone that also has their own houses here in the UK. Why some other people would say, oh, they don't want that, just bring the person's bank statements, means of identification and all of those things. But if you're not able to get a guarantor, there's like ways you can work around it. So some accommodations will ask you to pay for your full rent, so that's for the whole year or 2 years you want to stay. Some will ask you to pay for like 6 months, and some will ask you for pay for 3 months. So yes, so even if you don't have a guarantor, just know that you probably have to pay more because of that. So for you personally, what you require your enrollment letter. So that just shows that, okay, yes, you are a student. You're not just coming to say you're a student. Your student ID card. They always ask you to pay for deposit, like I've mentioned before. So usually your rent, the equivalent of your rent or less than that. For me, I didn't pay up to my rent. I paid like literally half of my rent for my deposit. So yeah, but you always get your money back. As far as you don't damage anything, you definitely get your money back. So things you need: the enrollment letter, your ID card, the deposit, and also your council tax exemption letter. Yes, so that one you can always get on your students page, or just ask your university. It's not a long process. Like as far as you're like an enrolled student, you definitely will get your exemption letter. So some landlords can always ask for that also. Then for payment, so basically payments, it varies. Like I said, you can be asked to pay every month. Usually private houses, you pay every month. I pay my rent every month. But like if you're looking at private student accommodation, you might be asked to pay let's say every other 3 months, every 6 months, or even the whole year. So yes, you need to like really consider that. And there's some accommodations that will ask you to pay weekly. I feel like that is not cost effective, in the sense that if you're paying, let's say, £80 every week for your rent, and you have 4 weeks in that month, next month it could be 5 weeks. So if you're paying £80 every week, and this week you have you have 4, this month, sorry, you have 4 weeks, so 4 times 8 is 32, Abby, I think so. So yeah, so you're paying £320 for this month. The next month that you have 5 weeks, then you end up paying £400. That's like 8 times 5, yeah, so you end up paying £400, which is like, the difference is like a lot. So I would say that it's just reasonable to just look for, just pick the monthly payment scheme. But if the weekly one works for you, then fine, it's not a big deal. So things you should look out for, like I said, make a video just to ensure that your landlord, like, there's nothing, no one's asking you to pay for what you did not damage. You show them that, oh, this is what I made video of, this is what is damaged, this thing is not good, that is not good, so that they don't move out of your deposit. Because if there's anything that is damaged, by the time you're leaving the house, your deposit will not be returned to you completely. So the deposit is supposed to stand as a what's it called, just the money that they use to fix anything that you damage in the house. Also, when you get to the house, make sure you ask for the bin days, so the days that the bin guys will come and pick up the bins and all of those things. Make sure you also ask about the color of the bin bags you're supposed to use. Now in my city, we use the green one for the recyclable what's it called, items, so your bottles and plastics and all of those things. We have the black one basically for general waste, and we also have a green small one that is for food, organic waste. So make sure you ask, and so that you don't put the wrong rubbish in the wrong bag. That makes sense. And also make sure, because you've paid your rent, make sure you always ask your landlord. Let them know if there's anything that is making you uncomfortable, if there's anything that maybe your fellow tenant is doing that makes you uncomfortable. Let them know. If there's anything that is spoiled, let's say your fridge is not working or something just stopped, make sure they know, because that is their job. Like, you've paid for it, and they will definitely always respond to you and be as helpful as they can. So yeah, those are the things that I have listed today regarding accommodation. All of the links to the different accommodation sites, I'll link them down below, so you can always check it out. I also would yeah, I think that's all basically. So if you have any other questions or have any clarifications, please let me know. If you have any specific questions, let me know and I would answer you. You can come to my DMs or on Instagram, or just drop it down so that everyone can learn from each other. If you have any other addition or contributions to what I've said, please make sure you leave a comment down below. Also, if there's anything I said that you feel like it's not completely true based on your own experience, let me know. But these are things I know based on my experience, and just let us, interact and talk with each other and help each other out down in the comment section. So please, thank you so much, guys. So if you watched this moment, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your love, all of your likes and everything. Please share with your friends and your family. Please also like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Love you guys.